Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Luke Doster. I'm the Strategic Program Director for EPIIC here at UCCS. EPIIC stands for the El Pomar Institute for Innovation and Commercialization. And as I mentioned, it's here on the UCCS campus, which you can see a little bit here in the background. So real quick, I just want to run through what EPIIC was able to accomplish in 2025. And the best way to do that is really to start with what is our mission overall. And we have three pillars that we really try to adhere to. The first being empowering student and faculty founders on campus. So taking interesting and innovative ideas and helping commercialize and create a business around them to actually bring it to market. And then we work with other companies within the community and our other programs in order to stimulate economic development in the Colorado Springs and the wider southern Colorado area. And then finally, our third mandate is really to connect the university and the community together in order to offer a bridge and a pipeline from academia to actual private business. So we're going to dive into how we actually do these different things and the programs it takes to get it done. And so here's a bigger in-depth breakdown of EPIIC as a whole. And if you're interested in actually learning about our specific mandates, these are the official words from our charter here on the right side of the screen. In the middle here, these are our programs that we use in order to actually achieve these goals. And so starting at the top, we have the Venture Attractor, which is our virtual accelerator program that also has a funding model called the Torch Grants attached to it. And I'll talk a little bit more about those later. Then we have EPIIC Nights, which are a series of events for the community, both at UCCS and in the wider Colorado Springs area. And again, we'll jump into some details on these. And then our student startup incubator called The Garage, which is actually where I'm standing right now. This is our podcast studio here in the garage. And then finally, we have Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans, which is a newer program that we actually just launched in 2025. And of course, none of this would be possible without the team and the EPIIC people behind EPIIC, right? And so we have at the top here, Dr. Larry Plummer. He is our director of EPIIC. And then we have Jessica Tabbert, who is our new events manager here at UCCS. She's working within the College of Business and within EPIIC, helping us connect and bridge to other programs here on campus. Me, Luke Doster, Ariana Pasquini, she is our student event and marketing coordinator lead, and she's actually sitting right here behind the camera helping make this happen. And then we have Carrie Olson, who helps with finance and admin abilities. So jumping into the actual mandate and the pillars we're working on, the Garage, which again is where I'm standing right now, is the student startup incubator here on campus. And this is where we work with students who are actively building entrepreneurial ideas, and we help provide the resources, mentorship, and curriculum to help them take those ideas out of their head and bring them into the marketplace. And so, variety of different ways that we do this, but one of those is offering resources such as this podcast studio so they can shoot marketing materials, have conversations with co-founders or people within their industry, and other sorts of things like that. We also have a 3D printer in the back over here, a Cricut machine, t-shirt presses, giant whiteboards, presentation materials, and all of the things that you would need in order to actually get those ideas on paper and start to build them. And so we have a lot of fun in here. We do a lot of different events and workshops, and there's just a lot of cool people that come in and out of this space. Then some of the other ways that we help the students is field trips. And this is one of the newer initiatives that we have that are really fun. And we load up a shuttle here at UCCS with a bunch of students and bring them to some sort of community event within the entrepreneurial space. And so last year, we brought our students up to Denver for the CU Startup Showcase. And this was just a really cool event hosted by CU System, Colorado University System, and all four campuses from the system came together and basically brought our coolest people working on cool ideas and innovations and presented them to each other. And so it was a really awesome opportunity, and it was really cool to be able to bring some of those students up. And then we also encourage our students to actually go out in the community and share what they're working on. So in a few of these images here at the top and kind of some of these other ones, our students are actually presenting their products to an audience of people who have no idea who they are, where they came from, or what they've been doing. And they're presenting it in a real pitch format and getting real feedback. And this is extremely valuable for a budding entrepreneur. And so, like I said, we have a lot of fun in here. We do a lot of cool things. And in the last year, 2025, we had 6 active startups and a handful of other students who come in and out depending on the events and their specific needs. But these startups shift and change throughout the years, and so the garage is on a rolling basis. But that is the way that we really work with the students and faculty on campus. So then going more into that economic development piece, the two pillars that really help make that happen are the Venture Attractor and the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans, which I guess is opposite on the screen you're looking at. But the Venture Attractor, to start with them, is a two-part program, the Scale to 1 Million Boot Up Camp, which is our virtual accelerator, and then we have the Torch Grants, which is the $50,000 non-equity grants that we use as a funding vehicle. And so in 2025, we had our 5th cohort of the Scale to 1 Million Boot Up Camp, consisting of 6 different companies from around the United States and even the world. Otilia here was from Argentina. And so we have a reach that actually goes outside of the United States, which is pretty awesome. Working with these companies is just an absolute blast. And at the end of the program, they are eligible to compete for a $50,000 Torch Grant. Now, this is that economic development piece that I keep harping on. And those Torch Grants, in order to receive that, they go through a competition. But then at the end of the competition, assuming they win, they are then asked to relocate to Colorado Springs for a period of 1 year in exchange for that $50,000. And then once they're here in this community, we smother them with love. We bring them and introduce them to other community partners that I'll talk about in a little bit, and basically just try to help them as much as possible and show them how awesome Colorado Springs is. And so that's been a really fun process. And on the other side of this community and economic development piece, we have the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans. Now, this is a nationwide program that started out of Syracuse University in New York, and we ran our first Colorado Springs EBV program in August of 2025, which was awesome. We brought out 16 veteran entrepreneurs and put them through a 10-day entrepreneurship boot camp. And it is an adept name because it starts about 8 a.m. and it ends about 9 p.m. every single day of those 10 days. So these ventures, these entrepreneurs were just absolutely getting hammered with information and practice and workshops and conversations, and they all left feeling like they were on the moon with the progress that they were able to make in that short period of time. And so all of this together kind of turns into the actual impact we have on the community, right? So we gave away a $50,000 Torch Grant in 2025, and we've actually given away over $350,000 worth of Torch Grants to date. And the company that received this, his name is Dr. Colin Plover. He's the founder of Nightingale Caring Solutions, a technology to help with charge nurse and nurse patient assignment. And so he's working on really cool stuff and relocated to our community as a result of that Torch Grant, coming from Philadelphia to Colorado Springs. From there, we had over 38 events last year throughout all of our programs and doing a lot of stuff. And so it was quite fun to calculate the numbers for those events because it really just reminds us of how active we actually are and what we are really doing and the value we're bringing to our community. And the companies we worked with last year generated over $4 million in revenue, which is really awesome. Again, we are a smaller program, and so that sort of impact is just really eye-opening and exciting to see. And these companies created 32 jobs, and these are paying positions. And so there are companies that we work with that have free internships or part-time positions or maybe contractors and things. So these numbers get a little bit messy. So I kept it at the 32 to show the full-time and individuals that we're really working with on that regard. And last year we worked with a total of 28 ventures enrolled in our various programs. And so then leading into that last piece, how do we link the community and the university together? Well, the way that we've approached this is through a program called EPIIC Nights. This is basically just what we call our event series of evening events that take place here on campus or out in the community. And they are 100% free to attend for anybody who wants to come, whether you're a student, community member, business owner, or it just sounded like something that was interesting to you. These events are an absolute blast, and they range from keynote speakers to panels to fireside chats to actual like trade show style events where we bring in a bunch of people and line them up in a room and kind of have you wander around and do things like that, workshops, and just all sorts of different ideas and concepts. And we're always scheming and working on different things. And so these EPIIC Nights are really the way that we help transfer the information that we have available to us in academia to the people out in the community actively building and working on a lot of these businesses. And as a result, our students get to meet these founders, get to meet these business owners and these entrepreneurs who are working on real projects and get to have really awesome connections and conversations. And so we aim to do about one EPIIC night per semester, and our next one is actually coming up here in April of 2026. So stay tuned for more information on that. But like I said, EPIIC nights are 100% free to attend for anybody, no matter where they're coming from, even if they're coming down from Denver or something like that. 100% free to attend, but that would not be possible without the sponsors and the partners that we have working with us here at EPIIC. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on the sponsors first. We get our name, El Pomar Institute for Innovation and Commercialization, thanks to the generosity of the El Pomar Foundation and their original gift to form the Institute. Since then, we have been able to build out some of these other programs and work with other entities and people in order to help continue the work we're doing. And so without people like Jim Waldrop, organizations like All Pro Capital, Classic Homes, Sparks Wilson, these events we'd have to charge for them because we just couldn't afford to host these free of charge for anybody who wants to get in. So thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, we're actually able to provide unique value to the community and the campus itself in a way that a lot of programs and people can't. And so we're really gracious for those who believe in us enough to support us financially. And then, of course, you can't connect the university and the community without a community. And so we would be remiss if we didn't mention some of our community partners who help make a lot of these events happen, whether it's sharing our marketing materials, sharing their actual bandwidth of their employees, their mentors, their ventures, and just collaborating. Colorado Springs has one of the most collaborative entrepreneurship ecosystems that I've ever seen, and it is just absolutely incredible to watch. All of our events are complementary. We don't compete with each other. We've really made that a mission, and we have different boards and community programs that basically we share what we're working on so that everybody knows what's happening and we can direct community members, students to the correct place. And so without these community partners, we wouldn't be able to do what we do as well. And so all of this together is really what makes EPIIC EPIIC. And we are really grateful for a fantastic 2025. We made a lot of progress and we improved on our programs in a way, in a scale that we hadn't done before. And so 2025 was a great year. It was really a kickoff year, and we now have a lot of stuff coming up in 2026. And so if you're interested in seeing what is coming up in 2026, go ahead and watch the video up here with our director, Larry Plummer. So thanks for tuning in, and make sure to stop by for more information later.